Hello, my name's Mark, welcome to the video. Today I'm on the beautiful Lancaster Canal. It's a place that's got lots of happy memories for me. I've only fished it, I think this will be my second time in the last 40 years. I've spent a lot of time here. Wonderful, wonderful place. So let's see if I can catch something today. And this is a look at the peg. We've got some sort of tall stem rushes to the right. I've got a few far bank lilies, not many of them. And you can see I'm right in the middle of the countryside. Absolutely beautiful setting. So these are the baits that I brought today. We've got some worms, some red maggots, some sloppy ground bait and a bit of coin. So I'm going to be fishing a waggler. I'm going to fish in one of these antenna wagglers. Very, very sensitive, but do hold quite a bit of weight, so you can cast them out quite a little way despite their small size. Got my usual 11-foot rod. You could fish a pole. The presentation would be probably much better with a pole and you're feeding more accurately, but for me I just like to sometimes relax and just fish the rod. Don't have to worry about dropping the pole back and people sort of banging into it and things like that on the towpath. So yeah, that's the plan. So I'm going to kick things off by using maggot. Now I have seen a lot of bubbles blowing, as we call it, fish blowing, and that could well mean that I've got some bream or hybrids in front of me. Now I need to be quite cautious, so I'm not going to bowl any ground bait in because that's likely to sort of spook them. What I have been doing is I've been feeding a few loose red maggots over the top of them. They're still blowing out there. So I'm going to kick things off by feeding and fishing red maggot on the hook and see how we go. I'm also possibly going to fish a line across, and I might well feed some chopped worm over there in some of that ground bait. So I'm just going to ease into it and see what happens really. Lovely little roach in the net, coming to red maggot. Blimey. Tiny, tiny little greedy perch. It's the fourth fish, a lovely hybrid. You really do fight well. Excellent. I've had 4 fish, small ones to start with, and then I got a hybrid around about, I don't know, maybe 6 ounces, and then it went quiet. I've then missed some unmissable bites, so I'm now, oh, here we go, little roach, there we go. But yeah, all I've done to start with is just loose feed red maggots. I haven't put any ground bait in yet. I've had a few boats go past, but one's just gone past a few minutes ago, and then straight away I've got that roach. So I had contemplated fishing closer in, but I found that when I plumbed it, it was very, very weedy and also very shallow. So I've gone a bit further out and started feeding a bit further out and catching a few fish down the sort of boat channel. I'm just fishing single red maggot, quite sparingly, I haven't been going mad, but I've just been firing a few maggots over the top. I've still got a bit of a plan to fish some chopped worm. I've got some ground bait, got some worms, so I am just going to ease my way into this, and then if it does go quiet I'm going to put perhaps a ball of ground bait in with some chopped worm in it and see how that goes. Ooh, weed, plenty of weed. There's plenty of weed on the surface, and there's also lots of weed on the bottom as well, which I did discover when I was plumbing up. So I'm just going to chuck a little handful of maggots out and cast over it. It seems to have gone a little bit quiet now. I've just deepened up a little bit, so I might just cautiously put a small ball in. Oh, hang on, he says. Just as I say that, we get a little hybrid, I think. Yeah, little hybrid. Lovely. Oops. Lancaster Canal is a very shallow canal for the most part. Just missed about them. No more than around about 3 feet down the middle. Makes you wonder how some of these boats can get through, but they do. And it's narrower than my local canal, which is the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. I've really got some happy memories of this place. I used to come up here as a teenager and into my early 20s, fishing lots of matches and coming up with all the guys in the team. I used to fish some lovely summer evenings on here. And we used to fish some horrendous winter leagues, fished that for about 5 or 6 years. That started, I think, probably about the back end of October and went through till, I want to say, the end of December, but it could be absolutely blowing a gale and bitterly cold. And in those days you really didn't have a look in unless you were fishing bloodworm, really. Bloodworm and joker, they were the key baits for this place. But as time's gone on, there's been fewer and fewer people fishing the canal and fewer matches. I mean, there used to be matches on here that had certainly 500 peggers and even more than that. But it's really quite neglected now. It does get a lot of boat traffic, but very few anglers. Species were Tommy Rough, which if you've not seen one, it's a little bit like a perch, spiky dorsal fin. Used to be absolutely black with them, this place, and then they seem to die off, so I don't know what happened to them. I think you still get the odd one. And skimmers were the other key species, together with roach. But to win a match on here, you'd really need to get into the bream and the skimmers, typically, unless it was a cold winter league day where a few Tommy Rough would do the trick. But I used to love coming up onto the Lancaster Canal because it was very different than my local canal, which is the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. That's where I started most of my fishing, on the Leeds-Liverpool, and it's quite urban where I live. So to come onto the Lancaster Canal and sort of sit in the countryside was absolutely amazing. Different species as well on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal in those days. It was predominantly gudgeon, perch and roach. So to come on here, sit in the countryside and catch a few skimmers was like a magical experience. We're into a slightly better hybrid. Lovely. Nice. Yeah, another hybrid. That's a bite, yeah. That's a oh, blimey. That's a little one. Float didn't settle, and that's the reason why. The hybrid, lovely. Three maggots that time. So a bit of an update. I've been fishing for around about an hour and had probably 8 fish. Got a few hybrids, which was good to see, but it has gone very quiet. Just now put a couple of bowls of ground bait in with some chopped worm in them and see whether that triggers a response. I'm going to fish a little bit of worm on the hook. It really is a beautiful setting. I've got, I think there's swallows or swifts or something knocking about now. Absolutely wonderful. Show you the final net shortly, and although you know, the fishing hasn't been brilliant, I've caught a few, had a few bites in wonderful surroundings, sat in the middle of the countryside watching swallows and dragonflies and you name it. It's been really great. So I'll be back, I'll come back and investigate this stretch and others again very soon. So that's the final net. We've got quite a few hybrids there. We've also got roach and some perch. So although it's not been an easy day by any stretch of the imagination, I've had a really good day on the Lancaster Canal. So thank you very much for watching this video. Tight lines, good luck in your own fishing, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much.